Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In our previous class, we have discussed about the microsporogenesis and the structure of pollen grains. So today's class, let us discuss about the importance of the pollen grains. That means what are the benefits we are getting from the pollen grains. So first of all here, so before the benefits here, pollen grains it may causes the allergic to the people. So not for all the people, for in some people these pollen grains they may cause the severe allergic problems, and even it may bring the bronchial application also. So allergic means when they come in there, when the people come in contact, they may bring the allergic such like itching process or blister formation. So these are the problems they may be associated when they come in contact with the pollen grains here. So these pollen grains in some people it may cause the allergic, or even it may cause the bronchial application. That means here related to the respiratory problems. They may bring many problems when they come through this contact here. And even some people it may bring a chronic respiratory disease also. Chronic means here severe respiratory problems it may arises here. In some people it may cause the severe respiratory diseases such as asthma, bronchitis, etc. So these asthma, bronchitis people, they feel the difficulty in the respiration, they feel the difficulty in the breathing. Such type of diseases here connected as asthma or bronchitis, and these diseases it will be appears due to the pollen grains here. Example for that type is a parthenium, or else even you are calling it as a carrot grass. Generally we may know this parthenium as a congress plant here. So this is the congress plant where the pollen grains of this congress plant it may be causes the allergic to the many people. So like that from the pollen grains it may causes the allergic for some people. So the people those are having the weak immunity, the people those are very sensitive, such type of people they may get the allergic from this pollen grain. Whereas even from this pollen grain we are getting the benefits also. What are the benefits we are getting? Means pollen grains are rich in nutrient here. The pollen grain which I said you here, it is rich in nutrient. You have seen that example, we will take the hibiscus flower. When you see the hibiscus flower, if we touch the anther here, means we will find a yellowish powder on our finger. So that yellowish powder, what it means, that is the pollen grains. That pollen grains they are rich in nutrient. Not only the hibiscus flower, so all the flowers pollen grains they are having rich in a nutrient, yeah. And but that's why by using that pollen grains we are preparing the many pollen tablets we are preparing, and even we are preparing the syrups. And these syrups and tablets it is consumed by the people, which is the good for the food supplement. It is rich in a food supplement. So consumption of these pollen grains may increase the performance of athletics and even for the race horses here. So these pollen tablets or syrups it is good in nutrients. So that's why we are giving for the person those are playing the athletic games here. So the person that playing the athletic games here, they need the more energy here. So from these pollen tablets or syrup they will get the more energy they will get here. So due to that one their performance will be increased in condition. They'll get a more energy, and they can perform that athletic programs or athletic games here. Not only for this athletic here, and even these tablets or syrup they may be given for the race horses also here. So in my other foreign countries all this here, there will be the race horses will be there here. So these race horses they need the more energy they needed here. So that's why here, in order to give the more energy, they are using this pollen tablets or syrup to get the good nutrient for these horses, so that they should get the performance in a good manner. So this is the benefits we are getting from these pollen grains now. And even the diagrams in your textbook, they have been given the tablet diagrams also. See, these are the pollen tablets. See, these are the pollen tablets, so which will get from the pollen grains. And these are the syrups, and even what happen means creams, which will be prepared by using the different type of pollen grains, which is used by in our day-to-day life by the human beings here, especially by humans, especially as I said here by the athletic persons and even the race horses here, because they need the more energy to perform their activities. So that's why these pollen grains tablets and syrups they will give the more energy for them here. Next one, so even if you come to the viability of the pollen grains here, if you come to the viability, what is the meaning of viability? Means viability is nothing but here survival of the pollen grains here. So you know very well every organism they having their own survival capacity here. So even the pollen grains also they having their own surviving capacity. So viability of the pollen grains surviving capacity, it will depends on the temperature and the humidity. So capacity to survive the pollen grains, it will depends on humidity, it will depends on the temperature, because temperature it is playing an important role here. Heavy temperature or heavy humidity it may damage to the pollen grains here. So that's why the viability of the pollen grains, it will depends on humidity, it will depends on the temperature and the humidity. Viability means surviving the pollen grains, up to what time they having the capacity to survive after the releasing from the anther. So that is nothing but we are going to say viability of the pollen grains here. Whereas if you come to the some cereals like rice and wheat, pollen grains lose their viability within the 30 minutes of their release here, as they release from the anther. So when the anther releases the pollen grains, up to what time they having the capacity, up to what time they'll be in a good in condition, means only up to the 30 minutes here. Afterwards they will not survive. The pollen grains will not perform their role here. If they fall on the stigma also, they will get die. That is nothing but we are calling it as a viability we are calling. So rice and wheat, they having the less time of viability, that is nothing but 30 minutes. When means after they release from where they'll release means as they release from the anther will get dehiscence here and they'll release the pollen grains, and after that what happen here means they're having the capacity to survive only up to the 30 minutes. Who means rice and the wheat. Later they will get a collapse here. So further they doesn't have, they'll perform their role. Next one, so if you come to the some other plants here, some other plants like which plants here means if you come to the plants like families like Rosaceae, Leguminaceae, Solanaceae. So these are the families here. Already in your first year also you have been studied about the cubes. There are three types of families here: Liliaceae, Fabaceae and Solanaceae here. In the same manner still many more families are there. Among that here Rosaceae, Leguminaceae and Solanaceae family also can maintain their viability up to certain months here. So in this family, which are the plants they having, so these plants pollen grains they can survive for certain months here. So not for 30 minutes or 1 hour, they having the capacity to survive for up to a certain months. Till that these pollen grains they will be in a live in condition. So that's why the some plants they having their viability for the months. So it will be varies from one plants to the other plant, but all the pollen grains they having their own viability time. That means own surviving time it is be present after they are released from the anther. Next here, after the pollen grains which will be released here, that pollen grains we can preserve for a longer period here. We can preserve for many years here. How we can preserve means we can preserve by undergoing the cryopreservation. Now what is the meaning of this cryopreservation means? So it is preserved in liquid nitrogen, preserving the pollen grains in liquid nitrogen. In which nitrogen? Preserving the pollen grains in liquid nitrogen under the temperature of -196 degrees Celsius. So up the liquid nitrogen under the temperature of -196 degrees Celsius, so the pollen grains may get preserved, and that process we are calling it as a cryopreservation. And that due to this one the crops may be remain for the pollen grains they may be remain for several years. In which plant whose characters is very good, their quality and quantity both it is good, such type of plants pollen grains we can preserve by cryopreservation. Not only the pollen grains, even the seeds also preserved in this manner. Sperms will be preserved in this manner, egg will be preserved in this manner. So that's why we have been heard about the seed banks. In this seed bank what happens, seed it will be preserved in the same manner. So blood bank you have seen here. In the blood bank what you will see, the blood will be preserved here. When there is necessity, that time will take the blood from the blood bank. In the same manner the plants which is having the good quality, such plant seeds will be collected and will keep under the cryopreservation, and when it is necessary, that time we are using these seeds. In the same manner even the pollen grains, which plants pollen grains it is having the good quality, such type of plants pollen grains will collect and will go for the cryopreservation, and when there is necessity, that time we will take that pollen grains and we will use for the crop breeding purpose. So we are going for the crop breeding program here. So like that here we can maintain for several years, we can maintain this one here. For several years we can maintain. So preserving the pollen grains in such condition we are calling it as a pollen banks we are calling. So in this pollen grains, varieties of pollen grains will be preserved by the cryopreservation. So these are the benefits we are getting from the pollen grains and viability of the pollen grains. Next we will go to the next topic, that is nothing but female part, gynoecium. So now let us discuss about the pistil or gynoecium, which is the female part of the flower. Till now we have been discussed about the male part of the flower. Now we will discuss the female part. So female part we are going to say gynoecium, or else another one we call it as a pistil. So gynoecium represent the female reproductive structure of the flower. So in flower gynoecium, what it is showing here, it is the female part of the flower it is representing. Now this gynoecium or pistil, it is composed of three parts. That means here this is the structure of the gynoecium. So this gynoecium, it contains the three parts. Gynoecium or pistil, it is divided into the three parts. Which are those three parts means? So stigma, style and ovary. So this is the female part of pistil. So where it is divided into the three parts. So one is the ovary, style and stigma. So pistil is divided into the three parts, or composed of three parts, which are those means ovary, style and stigma. Next one, ovary. If you come to the ovary, it is a basal swollen part of the pistil. So if in the ovary, it is the basal, because this still comes in the basal portion. So that's why we are representing them as a basal condition. And how it is present means it is in a swollen in condition. It will be present in the form of a balloon like structure. It is present. So it will be in a swollen condition. Swollen part we are calling it as a ovary. Now above the ovary will be present means style will be present. Style, it is a long slender part. Style, how it will comes here means style, it will comes in a long slender part. It will be comes above the ovary, and above this style who will comes means so expanded part it will present. That expanded part we are calling it as a stigma, and this is the terminal part. Terminal means what here? Terminal means ending part. So because here which is the basal part? Ovary. So after that will come style. After last part which will comes here, last part will comes the stigma. So that's why stigma is represented as a terminal part we are coming. Terminal meaning what here? Ending, last part of the pistil. So it is a terminal, and this portion it will be in a expanded in condition. Why it is in expanded in condition means because pollen grains want to fall on this stigma. So that's why it will be in expanded in condition, expanded part of the pistil. Next, ovary encloses one to many structural unit, call it as a carpel. So as I said here, basal swollen part it is present. That swollen part we are calling it as a ovary. Inside this ovary, what it contains means it contains a number of units it present. That unit what we are calling means we are calling it as a carpel. So like that here, this is the ovary means inside that ovary what it contains means it contains the carpel. So this is the ovary, and inside that it contains a unit called it as a carpel, and this carpel is also even where we are calling it as a megasporophyll. What we call this carpel? This carpel we are calling it as a megasporophylls we are calling. Inside the ovary what it contains? Inside the ovary it contains a carpel, it contains a unit called it as a carpel. And now inside this ovary, what here? Inside this carpel what it contains means ovarian cavity it present. Which is the ovarian cavity? Now this is the ovary. Inside the ovary what it contains? It contains the carpel. Now this is the carpel. Now inside this ovary is the ovarian cavity. That is nothing but we are calling it as a locule we are calling, and the ovarian cavity contains the parenchymatous cushion called a placenta. Now this is the ovary. Inside that it contains the carpel. Inside this carpel what it contains? The empty space it is present. So this empty space which here as I said here, this gap we are calling it as a ovarian cavity. Cavity meaning what? Empty space. So that's why here empty space it is present. This empty space we are calling it as a ovarian cavity. Empty space what we are calling? Empty space we are calling it as a ovarian cavity we are calling, or else even we are calling it as a locule. Even what we are calling? We are calling it as a locule. And this cavity, it is lined by the parenchymatous cells. Completely this cavity, it is lined by what here? It is lined by the parenchymatous cells. That means here it is completely lined by the parenchyma cells. Parenchymatous cells means it is completely lined by the parenchyma cells. Completely this cavity it is surrounded by, it is composed by what it means parenchyma cells, which is acting like a cushion, and further it is acting like a cushion, and this structure we are calling it as a placenta. Now this is as the cushion, it is acting like a what here? It is acting like a placenta. It is acting like a placenta. Once again I will repeat here. So inside the ovary what it contains? Ovarian cavity it is present. Inside the ovary what it contains? Carpel it is present. Inside that carpel a cavity it is present. That cavity we are calling as ovarian cavity or locule. That ovarian cavity contains number of parenchyma cells which is acting like a cushion for them. And these parenchyma cells what we are calling is we are calling it as a placenta we are calling. So this is what means structure of the pistil. Next, pistil with one carpel is called as monocarpellary. Just now as I drawn here, this is the ovary. This is the ovary swollen, basal swollen part we are calling it as a ovary. Now this ovary, it contains the one carpel, just now as I mentioned before here. So if it contains the one carpel means, then that condition we are calling it as a monocarpellary. The name itself it shows mono meaning what? Mono means one. So here how many carpels are present inside the ovary means one carpel. So that's why here pistil with one carpel. So pistil, if they having the one carpel means, then that condition we are calling it as a monocarpellary we are calling. Suppose here if this inside this ovary if they having the two carpels if it is present, so if the pistil with the two carpels means, then that condition we are calling it as a bicarpellary. Bi means what here? Two. Suppose here if it contains like this two carpels if it is present means we are calling it as a bicarpellary. Or more than that if it is present means many carpels means that time we are calling it as a multicarpellary pistil. So more than that what we are calling means we are calling it as a multicarpellary pistil we are calling. If one carpel means we are calling it as a monocarpellary. If two carpels means bicarpellary. If more than that means we are calling it as a multicarpellary. Multi means what here? Many. So by if you see this heading only we can tell the definition of these things. So one carpel means monocarpellary. Bi means two carpel means bicarpellary. Multi means many carpel means multicarpellary pistil. So like that monocarpellary, bicarpellary pistil and multicarpellary pistils. Now these carpels if it is in a fused condition means we are calling it as a basin carpus condition. If these carpels if they are in a fused in condition here, just suppose here this is one carpel and this is one carpel, both the carpels if they are in a fused in condition like that, if they are fused means, then that condition we are calling it as a syncarpus we are calling. Fused condition means syncarpus. Example for this is papaver somnifer. So what we are calling it as a papaver somnifer. If the carpels are fused in condition means we are calling it as a syncarpus. Example for that is papaver somnifer plant which is showing the syncarpals they are showing. If these carpels are free in condition, one carpel and another carpel if it is not in a attached in condition, they are completely free in condition. So carpels are not in a fused condition. So if they are in a free in condition means then we are calling it as a apocarpus we are calling. Example for this is Michile champaka. So Michile champaka means we are seeing this flower champa. Champa. So this is the example for this apocarpals. So definition will come for both same only. Just you have to mention here fused, here free. So these two terms only it will give the meaning for this sentence. So keep remember syncarpus means fused. So apocarpus means free. Many of them they will write the wrong answer here. Apocarpus means fused, syncarpus means free. So like that cross answers they will write here. So the time they will not get you will not get the marks here. So carpels fused condition means called it as a syncarpus here. If the carpels free in condition means we are calling it as a apocarpus we are calling. Example for this is Michile champaka. Next the number of ovules. Ovules you know very well here inside the ovary what it contains the ovules, and later these ovules it will convert into the seed. Already have been studied in your first year also. Ovary will convert into the fruit. Ovary will convert into what? Ovary will convert into the fruit and the ovule will convert into the seed. So we are consuming the varying varieties of fruits we are consuming here. So in all these fruits we will find the seeds and even the fruit part will find. That fruit part from where we will get means that fruit part it will get developed from the ovary, and there are the seeds which will throw here, that seed will get from the ovule. Now the number of ovules, even if the number of ovules also it will varies. It may varies from one flower to the other flower here. It may varies from one pistil to the other pistil. Suppose here the number of ovules it may vary from 1 to many. In some pistil, in some ovary, the ovules may be 1. In some flowers, the ovules may be many. Ovules where it will be present. Ovules will be present inside the ovary. Just now as draw the structure of the pistil. So this is the swollen part we are calling as a ovary. Inside this ovary what it contains? Ovule it will be present, which will be attached to the placenta. Ovule where it will be attached? Ovule will be attached to the placenta. Just now as I said you here, placenta is nothing but that is a parenchymatous cells which is present on the ovarian cavity. So on this ovarian cavity the placenta cells will be present, lined by the parenchyma cells here. That parenchyma cells only we are called as a placenta. For that, so who will be attached? Ovules will be attached, and this ovules it may be one or it may be many. So example for the one ovule is mango. Here consider the mango. So in mango how many seeds we will see? Only one seed we will see. That means here in the flowers of the mango how many ovules will be present? Only one flower, only one ovule will be present. So that's why we'll get the only one seed. Or else another one example, wheat, paddy. Paddy means what here? Rice. So in all these cases, so in one ovary we will find only one ovule we will find. So that's why we will find the one seed we will find. And whereas in some flowers, in some pistils or in some ovaries, so how many ovules will be present? Many ovules will be present. If many ovules will be present means how many seeds will get here? Many seeds we will get here. Example is in the papaya. In papaya we will get the plenty of seeds, not one or two here, plenty of seeds it will be present. That means here the papaya flower what it contains means it contains the many ovule inside the ovary. So that's why we will get the many ovule. Or else you are consuming the watermelon here. In watermelon also you will find the many seeds we will find. That means how many seeds? That much ovule. How many ovules? That much seeds we will get. Another one example, brinjal. Even if we cut the brinjal also we will find the many ovules we will find. Or else you can see the lady's finger. So like that in many fruits are present where we will find the plenty of seeds we will find here. So like that here, now how many ovules are present, on that basis we will get the that much number of the seeds we will get. So next this is about this topic. Next, types of ovary. So how many types of ovaries are present? So totally here first type of ovary. So ovary it may be monocarpellary ovary it may be present. Types of ovary it may be a monocarpellary ovary it may present. To whom we are calling as a monocarpellary ovary means a gynoecium having the single carpel. If in the gynoecium if you find only single carpel means just now as I draw the structure here. So in gynoecium is female part like this. So this is the gynoecium. So this is the gynoecium part here, pistil part. So inside that here, if it contains only one carpel means then that ovary, this type of ovary, what we are calling means we are calling it as a monocarpellary ovary. Monocarpellary ovary means a gynoecium having a single carpel is called as what we means we are calling it as a monocarpellary ovary. We are calling. Example for this is P. Example for this is nothing but P means botany. So next other type it is ovary it is present, multicarpellary ovary it is present. So I same definition it will comes here, a gynoecium having more than one carpel. So here single it will comes, here more it will come. So only this much only it will varies. It will gives the meaning for the sentence. So a gynoecium having more than one carpel. Just now this is the ovary, assume here more than this if it is present means then that condition we are calling it as a what here means we are calling it as a multicarpellary. Multi means what? Many carpels. Example for this is citrus we are calling. So in citrus it contains the many carpels it contains. So next one, so in multicarpellary we may get types here. So if you come to the multicarpellary, one means it will comes to the monocarpellary. If more than one comes means generally we are calling it as a multicarpellary here. But in specification if you take here means if two carpels are present means then we are calling it as a bicarpellary. If two carpels are present means bicarpellary. Just now as I said you here. So if two carpels, one carpel means what we are calling monocarpellary. So ovary here, types of ovary I am telling. So to one carpels means here one carpel carpal means monocarpellary. Two carpals means bicarpellary. So for that here we are joining the ovary. So that type of ovary what we are calling, two carpals are present means such type of ovary we are calling as a bicarpellary we are calling. So in the same manner here, so how many two carpals if it is present means what we are calling? We are calling it as a bicarpellary we are calling. So as definition it will come same. The gynoecium having two carpals means we are calling it as a bicarpellary ovary. There we didn't mention, we are not asking ovary about only carpal means bicarpellary. Three carpals means tricarpellary, four carpals means tetracarpellary, five carpals means pentacarpellary, like that it is present. But here if they ask ovary means you have to join the ovary along with the carpals. So gynoecium having two carpals means we are calling it as a bicarpellary ovary. Tricarpellary means tri means three. The gynoecium having three carpals means we are calling it as a tricarpellary ovary. So tetracarpellary means a gynoecium having the four carpals means we are calling it as a tetracarpellary. Five carpellary means a gynoecium having the five carpals means we are calling it as a pentacarpellary. More than that means we are calling it as a multicarpellary ovary. Example for these are nothing but for bicarpellary, vinca, so they are tricarpellary, castor, tetracarpellary P, and even what here means pentacarpellary we are calling it as a hibiscus. Pentacarpellary what we are calling? Pentacarpellary we are calling pentacarpellary example is hibiscus. Next one, apocarpus ovary. Apocarpus means just now I said here. What is the meaning of apo? And syn means syncarpus means apo means what here? If it is in a which condition? If it is in a free in condition. Apocarpus means which condition? Apocarpus means free condition. If the carpals are in free in condition means we are calling it as a apocarpus. Now apocarpus ovary means the gynoecium consisting of two or more free carpals. So inside the ovary, if the two or more carpals if they are in free in condition means then that condition we are calling it as a apocarpus ovary. Such ovary what we are calling? Such ovary we are calling it as a apocarpus ovary. Example is the Michele. So that example is the Michele. Even the diagram also they have been mentioned in your textbook here. So syncarpus is nothing but here. So if the two or more carpals they are in a fused in condition means we are calling it as a syncarpus ovary. Example for this is Pepperverse somniferous, lady's finger. So these are all are the examples for what here? Syncarpus ovary. The diagram they have been mentioned in your textbook. See here. So this is the complete structure of the pistil. So this is the pistil of whom is hibiscus here. So hibiscus having the five stigmas are present. So complete this is the stigma, style and ovary, and below that the thalamus it is present. So this is the second figure which is representing the syncarpus. Syncarpus means what here? It is in a fused in condition. So what the carpals are in a fused in condition they present. Example is the Pepperberry. Multicarpellary is nothing but here. This is the apocarpus here where the carpals they are in a free in condition. So these are all are the apocarpus here. So all of you have seen the flower. Which flower? Champa flower. Champeka pool we will tell. So that in that here, so we will find this one. So these are all are the carpals they are present. They are in a free in condition. So this is the examples diagrams that have been mentioned in your textbook. So like that here, such type of ovaries what we are calling? Syncarpus. Keep remember, apo means free. Apo means what here? Free. So syncarpus means used. These two meanings only gives these two terms only gives the meaning for this one, apocarpus ovary and syncarpus ovary. Example just as I said here. So ovary, what is they may be asked in your exam for 1 mark question or even for your NEET here. Apocarpus ovary means so carpals are fused in condition, carpals are free in condition, both or none of the both. So like that the questions may be asked in your exam. Or for your board here define apocarpus ovary or define syncarpus ovary. 1 mark question they may be arises. So this is about your structure of the pistil. So how the female part it is present. What are the parts are present in the pistil? So once again I will tell you here. So pistil they having. Once again I will repeat it here. So pistil these are the Structure of the pistilla, female part, stigma, style and ovary. Inside the ovary, carpel will be present. Inside the carpel, the empty space will be present. That empty space we are calling as a ovarian cavity or locule, and that space it is lined by the parenchyma cells, like how in our home. So for the floor we will put one mat. In the same manner, so this is the empty space will be present. This empty space it is lined by the parenchyma cells. Now this parenchyma cells lined structure it is called it as a placenta. We are calling it as a placenta. For this placenta, who will be attached? Ovule will be attached. So how many ovules will be present? That much seeds we will get. This is the structure of your pistil or gynoecium. Next we will go to our next topic, that is nothing but we are calling it as a megasporangium, that are ovule, structure of ovule, where the ovule will convert into the seed. And this topic we will discuss in our next class, later class.